What's up, everybody? Welcome to another ranking video, and this has been a ranking video I've been wanting to do for a long time. Finally got around to watching all the movies, so yeah, welcome to my ranking for all the Pixar movies. Yes, all 27 Pixar movies, ranked from my least favorite to favorite. Alright, so all right. First thing I'll say, this is actually my second attempt on doing this video. I actually did this video, but I had to delete it because it was too long. It was an hour long, and so I'm going to try to keep this under at least 50 minutes. Maybe it'll be over 40, but some of my videos lately have been around 40 minutes. But yeah. So I'm not going to talk. I'm going to try not to talk too much about these movies, just because of that. But yeah, I might talk a little bit more about my least favorite movie, but the others I'll try to just say a brief thought. So yeah, and also keep in mind personal opinions. Your favorite might be close to the bottom of the list, and maybe your favorite or maybe your least favorite might be close to the top. So, but just all my opinions. So yeah. All right. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So coming at number 27, we have my least favorite Pixar movie, and this might shock a lot of people because this is a divisive Pixar movie. There's actually some people that like it, and there's some people that don't. And I'm obviously one of the ones that despises this movie. That is Toy Story 4. Yes, Toy Story 4 is my least favorite Pixar movie. I will say, I don't think it's the worst Pixar movie ever made. In fact, I don't even, as a movie in general, and even a Pixar movie in general, I don't think it's bad. However, it is a bad Toy Story movie. It is a really bad Toy Story movie. And I just can't believe that they made this. Well, I can because Disney thinks they need money, and apparently there's going to be a Toy Story 5 now. But yeah, the reason why I hate this movie so much because it shits all over the ending to the third movie, and it ruins a perfect trilogy. All the other three Pixar or Toy Story movies are all great, but yeah, it shits all over this. Again, I don't think it's terrible, but as a sequel to what was supposed to be a great trilogy, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad, and it's my least favorite because it's the one that pisses me off the most. So I will admit my number 26 is worse than this, but I only have it higher just because it doesn't piss me off. It doesn't even piss me off at all, but it is a bad movie, and even worse than this, but yeah. But that's why Toy Story 4 is my least favorite, because it pisses me off. So yeah. Toy Story 4, that's number 27. Okay, coming in at number 26 is the movie that a lot of other people would put as their least favorite, and I totally understand because this movie does suck. But like I said, it doesn't piss me off, really. That is Cars 2. The reason why this movie doesn't piss me off and why I like it just slightly better than Toy Story 4 is just because, I didn't even care for the first Cars movie all that much. So, I mean, of course, the first and even the third Cars movies are better than the second, but still, like, I'm not a big Cars fan, so I don't like this movie, nor do I necessarily hate it. It's just a movie that I had to watch. I didn't even want to watch this movie. I had to watch it for this ranking. I've seen it now. I'm done. I'm never watching it again. Moving on. So yeah, Cars 2 is my number 26. Bad movie, but Toy Story 4 just pisses me off more, so yeah. Okay, coming in at number 25 is the follow-up to Cars 2. That's Cars 3. Not a bad movie. It's just, not for me. Like, none of these Cars movies are for me, so yeah. Cars 3 is just, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's number 25 for Cars 3. Coming at number 24, we have Turning Red. This is a movie I reviewed for the channel. I also reviewed Toy Story 4. And if you've seen that review, I didn't really shit on that movie. I forgot to mention that for Toy Story 4, but I didn't really shit on that movie in that review. I think I only gave it like a C something. But now it's terrible. If I would give letter ratings still, at least a D minus, but probably an F for Toy Story 4. But anyways, but yeah. Anyways, back to Turning Red. Turning Red I reviewed for the channel, and I thought it was okay. But thinking back, I didn't really like it. It just, yeah. It was kind of cringy and just, yeah. I didn't hate it. I just don't think I'll ever watch it again. The animation's pretty interesting. I think the animation's pretty good, but the story is pretty weird, and I think it would work better if it was like a Studio Ghibli movie, but not as a Pixar movie. So yeah, yeah, Turning Red. That's my number 24. Okay, coming in number 23 is Cars, the first Cars. I did see this as a kid. I thought it was okay. I wasn't really into it. As an adult, I still think it's okay. I think it's harmless. I think it's a harmless kids movie. Like, I think it's a decent kids movie, and that's about it. Like I said, I'm not into any of the Cars movies, and this one just, yeah, it's fine for a kids movie, but it's not great in my opinion, and I don't like it all that much, but I don't hate it. So yeah, really the only movie I think I actually really hate in the Pixar movies is Toy Story 4, but yeah. Anyways, Cars, I'm probably never going to watch it again, neither the sequels, so yeah. Cars is number 23. Coming at number 22, we have a very hated Pixar movie, and I kind of get it, it's not great, but I don't know. I thought it was okay, at least. That's The Good Dinosaur. Yeah, the story's nothing special. It reminds me a lot like the first Ice Age, but the first Ice Age is actually pretty good. This one, not really. The animation's pretty good. The backgrounds look beautiful, but the character designs are kind of weird. The lead character, Arlo, I think is his name. He looks too cartoony, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like this movie. I thought it was kind of boring, but, I didn't hate it. I don't know. It's just whatever. I'll probably never watch it again either, but yeah. The Good Dinosaur, that's number 22. Alright, coming in at number 21, we have the most disappointing Pixar movie I've ever seen, and that is Lightyear. I'm a huge Toy Story fan, but at least this did not piss me off as much as Toy Story 4. It didn't really piss me off. There was one thing in this movie that did piss me off, and that was the betrayal of or whatever the word is. How they did Zurg in this movie. I did not like how they did Zurg. It was not good, and yeah. But this does have an interesting kind of concept to where this is supposed to be the movie that Andy saw that made him want the Buzz Lightyear action figure that he got in the first movie. So that's pretty cool. There was one character in this movie I did like, and that was Socks the cat. He's very entertaining. He's really funny. But overall, Lightyear, it was a pretty boring movie and just not really that good. Very disappointing. Not a terrible movie by any means. But yeah, I should mention one more thing. The animation's great, but it's Pixar, so yeah. But yeah, Lightyear, it's okay. Yeah, that's my number 21. Alright, so now the rest of these, I think, are pretty good. Maybe not, these next, few, I think are pretty good. Just not, great, but they're pretty good. Even this one, my number 20, which, this is going to be a hot take, kind of, or something, because this is a very beloved Pixar movie, but aside from, I would say, the first Cars movie, I think this is Pixar's most overrated movie, but I don't hate it. I don't even really necessarily dislike it. It's just not really for me. That is Up. Yeah, Up is very low. I'm sorry, people, but I don't love Up. I think it's good. I think Up is a good movie. It's just not really for me. I don't know. Not really into the story. Now, okay, I will mention the first 10 minutes or so that everybody loves. That is good. That was done very well, and I think it would have been really a really good short film if it was just that. But, as a film overall, not really into it. I saw this as a kid. I actually didn't like it at all when I was a kid. But rewatching it as an adult for this ranking, it's all right. It's fine. Will I watch this again? Maybe, but probably not for a while. Maybe in the next, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years or so. But yeah, it's okay. Up's all right. It's not one of my favorites, but I do think it's pretty good. Just yeah, Up. That's my number 20. All right, coming in at number 19. Now, this is a movie that a lot of people found disappointing. Me, not really, just because I wasn't like a humongous fan of the first movie. I like the first movie, but it's not like one of my favorite Pixar movies. That would be Incredibles 2. Yeah, Incredibles 2, it's okay. It's an okay sequel. It's very flawed, but I don't know. It was still kind of enjoyable. Like, the first movie, maybe not, well, definitely not as enjoyable as the first movie, but still, it's a decent sequel that is still flawed, but at least entertaining, so, it's alright. The animation's not as good as it was in the first movie, but, yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, number 19 is Incredibles 2. Okay, and coming in number 18 is, I would say, maybe another divisive Pixar movie. A lot of people say this is an underrated Pixar movie. I would say, some other people would say overrated. I don't really think it's either. It's just a decent Pixar movie, in my opinion. I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it's underrated. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But it's decent. That would be the second ever Pixar movie, A Bug's Life. Yeah, Bug's Life's not bad. I enjoy it for the most part. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's just not one of my favorites, but it's pretty good. I will say though, the score is really good. I love the score to A Bug's Life, if I'm going to be honest. I think it's one of the best Pixar scores. Yeah. And I also like the villain Hopper, played by the controversial Kevin Spacey, who will never work with Pixar again, but I thought he was good. He could have been in it more, but he was still cool. I even like the circus bugs and the flea in the movie too, voiced by what's his name, John Ratzenberger, who is in like almost every Pixar movie. He was great. I liked him a lot. He might be my favorite character. But yeah, decent movie. A Bug's Life's pretty decent. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. Yeah. A Bug's Life. That's my number 18. Okay, coming at number 17. Now, I might say this is a little bit overrated, but it's okay. I just don't think it's as good as a lot of people say it is. That would be Soul. Yeah, I'm not huge into Soul. I think it's okay. I think it's just an okay movie. It is pretty interesting, but I kind of felt like it could have been executed a little bit better. I don't know. Jamie Foxx is pretty good. So is Tina Fey. They're good. They got good chemistry. But I don't know. Just wasn't all into this. Wasn't really into this movie all the way. Great score though, much like A Bug's Life. This was actually scored though by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, which is pretty awesome. I forgot to mention that Randy Newman did the score for A Bug's Life. Also, like Toy Story and whatnot. But yeah, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, a very unlikely duo to do a Pixar movie, or very unlikely composers for a Pixar movie, but they pulled it off very well, I have to say. And I like them as composers anyway, so yeah. Soul, that's my number 17. Okay, coming at number 16, we have the most recent Pixar movie. That is Elemental. This is a pretty good movie, I have to say. or at least a decent movie. I think I don't think a lot of people liked it, but I enjoyed it for the most part. It's actually a romance movie, and I thought it was done very well. I like the two characters. I think they have good chemistry together, and I did actually buy their romance. So yeah, Elemental, really pretty good movie, and that's my number 16. Okay, coming at number 15 is Luca. I thought again like Elemental. I thought Luca was pretty good. I thought it was actually yeah, I thought it was pretty good actually. It's a concept that has been done before. It reminds me a lot like Splash, the Ron Howard movie with Tom Hanks and what's her name, Daryl Hannah. It kind of reminds me of that, just not a romance movie, obviously. But and I would have to say Splash is better. But you know, just about these kids who are like these sea creatures, and you know they turn human when they're on land, but they're not exactly human. You know, they're still sea creatures, but it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. I like the two lead characters and the girl too, and I think they all have great chemistry together. And yeah, the animation's really good too. Yeah, Luca, that's my number 15. All right, coming to number 14. Now, this is another Pixar movie that a lot of people love, and I get it. I do get it. I like it. I do like it. It's just not one of my personal favorites. That's Wall-E. Yeah, Wall-E, I don't love Wall-E, but I think it's pretty good. It's also, I should mention, the only Pixar movie, at least as of right now, the only Pixar movie to have a Criterion release, which is very kind of shocking that Disney let Criterion release it, because Criterion also released movies like Pink Flamingos and Sallow. But yeah, but yeah, that's I do think that's pretty cool though. And yeah, it's a decent movie. It's gorgeous looking for sure. Like the space shots are amazing looking, so beautiful. I like Wally as a character, and I like Eve as well. They have good chemistry together. And the score by Thomas Newman is amazing. Thomas Newman is honestly my favorite composer. He did maybe two others. I know he did one, at least one other Pixar movie on here. I don't know if he did the sequel or not. He might have. I'm not sure, but I actually like to score in the other movie coming up better. But yeah, Wally's still a good movie though, and yeah, that's my number 14 is Wally. Okay, coming at number 13 is a movie, I would say another divisive Pixar movie, and also the first movie that I actually have in my collection. I don't have very many Pixar movies, but I do own this one. That is my number 13, Monsters University. Obviously the prequel to Monsters Inc. We'll get to that much later. But if you know my channel, you might know where it is. But yeah, but Monsters University, I think it's okay. I think it's or at least I think it's a decent movie, but it's very flawed. Like it honestly makes no sense, because in Monsters Inc., Mike and Sully, or Mike, I think, mentioned that they knew each other since kindergarten or something like that. And in this movie, they meet in college. So, yeah, it makes no sense, but as a movie in general, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I like it. Don't love it, but I do enjoy it. I think it's kind of underrated, but also still not too good, but it's at least enjoyable. Yeah. Monsters University, that's my number 13. All right, coming in at number 12. Now, this one, some people might be mad at me for putting it too low, much like Wall-E and Up, but I did kind of mention this earlier, because I already mentioned a sequel to it. That is The Incredibles. The Incredibles I liked as a kid, but it was never one of my favorites. And as an adult, still, it's not really one of my favorites. But I will say, I actually appreciate it more as an adult than I did as a kid. Like, I think the story is great. It is very well written. The concept alone is great, just about this superhero family trying to live normal lives, because superheroes have been outlawed. That's a very good idea for a movie. That's a really awesome idea, and it works very well. Even in animation, it just works very well. Um, yeah, it's a really good movie. Brad Bird, one of his best movies. I think he did another one that is better coming up, but I think The Incredibles is still a good movie. Yeah, that's my number 12, The Incredibles. Okay, coming at number 11, we have a sequel to a movie I haven't even mentioned yet, but I actually think, okay, this, my next one, and the one afterwards, I think are the most underrated Pixar movies. Yeah, my number 11 is the most underrated Pixar sequel, and it is my favorite Pixar sequel, not counting the Toy Story sequels. That, well, except for four, of course. But yeah, that is Finding Dory. Yeah, some people might be shocked because I know there's actually a lot of people that don't like this movie. I enjoyed it very much. I actually really liked Finding Dory. Not as good as Finding Nemo, and I'll get to that later, but I still enjoyed it. I still really enjoyed Finding Dory. So yeah. Uh yeah, really cool. I like some of the newer characters they introduced. I like Ed O'Neill's character. He was really good. Yeah, it's just a decent Pixar movie, and I think it's one of their most underrated ones, including my next two. So yeah, number 11 is Finding Dory. Okay, coming in at number 10, we have a movie that a lot of people hate, and I honestly don't get it. It doesn't have the best story. I will say that, but I don't know. The story's okay to me. But I think it's very underrated, despite it did win a Best Anime Feature award. But it's still underrated. That is my number 10, Brave. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I really like Brave. I really do. Like every time I watch this movie, I actually like it more and more. I think, like I know I said the story isn't the best, and it's not, but I think it's okay. Like I said, I really like the main protagonist, Merida, played by brilliantly played by Kelly MacDonald, a very underrated actress from like movies like Train Spotting and No Country for Old Men. But yeah, she does an amazing job as Merida in this movie. I like her family. Her dad is really funny. So are her brothers, who don't even talk. But yeah, they're really funny. The mom, she's all right. She does kind of come off as like a bitch, honestly. But that's what the movie is. That's kind of what the movie is. Is just like, kind of like a mother-daughter relationship, and Merida's this princess who doesn't want to be a princess. But yeah, there's actually some people that don't like Merida, and I'm like, why? She's actually a really good character. I really like her a lot. Yeah, it's a good movie. It does get a little odd when her mom turns into a bear, and that's kind of maybe the biggest issue in this movie, but it doesn't bother me too much. I still think it's a good movie. Yeah, Brave, that's my number 10. Okay, coming at number 9, we have the most underrated Pixar movie, and that is Onward. Yeah, I actually really like Onward. Now, I think the story is not bad, but I really like the world and the characters. That's what I kind of much like the Tim Burton movie Miss Peregrine's Home for Particular Children. Like I think the story is decent, but the world and the characters is what I really like about the movie, and that's the same with this. That's what I really like about this movie. Like, it takes place in like this medieval world, but this is when technology, like after they invented technology, they stopped using. They're like these magical creatures, but they stopped using their powers after technology, and then all through the years, everyone who's still alive now don't even use their powers. So it's a pretty cool pretty cool concept for a world, and the story itself isn't bad. Yeah, I like the two brothers, and yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I enjoyed Onward, and I think it's their most underrated Pixar. I think it's the most underrated Pixar movie. So yeah, Onward is number 9. Okay, so before we move on, we got 8 more, but I'm gonna pause this real quick. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Be right back. All right, now we're back. So now let's continue with the top 8, shall we? Okay, coming at number 8, we have Toy Story 3. Now, I actually, for the longest time, this was my favorite, this was my favorite Toy Story sequel. But, I don't know, out of the 3 Pixar movies, it might be the weakest, but I still think it's great. I still think it's really good, and it has a fantastic ending that unfortunately did not end the entire series. Sorry, I was messing with my fan. Okay. But anyways, yeah, we got Toy Story 4, so yeah. But I like to pretend that Toy Story 4 doesn't exist and just say that Toy Story 3 is the perfect ending to this series. So yeah, Toy Story 3, great sequel. And that's my number 8. And at number 7, we have is Toy Story 2. Yeah, like I said, for the longest time, I actually really liked... I liked Toy Story 3 better than 2. But after rewatching all these... I think 2 is better. I think it's a better sequel, and some people even say it's even better than the first movie. I wouldn't go that far, but I do get when people say it's a really good sequel. Like, it really is. It's actually a really good sequel, and it has, in my opinion, the most underrated Pixar character, and maybe even a Pixar villain. Maybe you can call him a villain. I don't know. It's not Stinky Pete. No, it is Al. Yes, Al. Voiced by Wayne Knight, which is perfect casting, by the way. But I love Al. The owner of Al's Toy Barn. He is fucking hilarious. He's so pathetic, but that's what makes his character hilarious. And yeah, I love the line when he wakes up. He goes, "No, officer, I swear." It's so funny. But yeah, Toy Story 2, really funny movie. Not just Al, but it's a really funny movie, and it's a very good sequel. And yeah, I will say it's the best Pixar sequel. It's my personal favorite Pixar sequel, and yeah, Toy Story 2. That's my number 7. Coming at number 6, we have it. All right, this and the next movie are 2 movies that I actually watched for the first time while doing this ranking. They're both very beloved. They both came out in the last decade, and I understand the hype for both of these movies. So my number 6 is Coco. Coco is fantastic. I think this is like one of the best looking Pixar movies, and it has a very interesting story. Like, it's very unique. And it's done really well. And yeah, this is a fantastic movie. I love it. Great music too. And it even has a good twist in this movie that I kind of saw coming, but I still thought it was done very well. But yeah, Coco, really good movie. But and that's my number 6. But coming in number 5, we have a movie that came out in the last decade that's even better than that, and that is Inside Out. And Inside Out, I think it might be Pixar's best movie, despite it only being at number 5, because these are my personal favorites. But I do think that this or another movie coming up, I'm tied between those two as being the best Pixar movie. This is really close. I think this movie is just fantastic, like almost a masterpiece. If not a masterpiece, then almost. But yeah, I love the characters. The main 5 emotions all fantastic, and the voice acting too is great. Even Riley is a good character. Um, yeah, and it's really funny, and it even has some good dramatic moments, and yeah, it's really fucking good. This I love Inside Out, and I understand when people say that it's their favorite Pixar movie or one of their favorites. It's in my top five. I've only seen it once so far, but maybe if I watch it again, maybe I'll like it more. We'll see. But as of right now, it's my number five. My number five favorite Pixar movie, Inside Out. Okay, coming at number four, we have is a movie that I grew up with. I think all of these movies I kind of grew up with. Well, my number three, yeah, I would say I did too. Even though it wasn't quite one of my favorites as a kid, but still. Anyways, though, but my number four is was definitely one of my favorites as a kid, and still is, obviously. That is Finding Nemo. I mean, Finding Nemo is just fantastic. Animation's beautiful. The score by Thomas Newman is fantastic. Some good funny moments, some good dramatic moments. It's just a really good movie. And yeah, voice acting is great. You even got Willem Dafoe in this movie, which is kind of an odd choice for for an actor. I mean, I love Willem Dafoe, don't get me wrong, but kind of odd that he's in a Pixar movie. But he's Gil in this movie, and he's fantastic. I love Gil. I love Willem Dafoe's portrayal. I even love the rest of the Tank Gang. Some great other characters, like, well, of course, Dory, Marlin, Nemo, but also like Crush, the sea turtle, and Bruce the shark. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, Finding Nemo, that is my number four. Okay, coming at number three. Okay, now this is the movie that I was talking about, along with Inside Out. It's a tie between Inside Out and my number three, Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a fucking masterpiece of a film, I think. I honestly think. Like, I don't know, maybe it is the best, but Inside Out's very close too. And this was a movie I did watch as a kid. I liked it, but I didn't love it until I got older. As an adult, I love this movie. And has a very good message. Anybody can cook, which doesn't mean literally, just means, just do what you want. Don't let anything stop you of doing what you want to do. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, Ratatouille. Great movie. It was actually my number two originally, but then I was thinking, because I actually put my actual number two, I put that ahead of Ratatouille on my, I had my top four of this list. I had that, all four of these movies were in my top 100 favorite movies of all time list. Go check those videos out. They're in 4 parts. But I had that movie over Ratatouille, and I was thinking to myself, do I like it better Ratatouille? And then I was like, yeah, I think I do. So yeah, Ratatouille is my number 3. My number 2, however, we're down to 2 movies. My number 2 is the movie that started all. It was the very first Pixar film, full-length film, and the very first, computer CGI film. That is, of course, Toy Story, which I own on VHS. I need to get a DVD or Blu-ray of it. I need to get the other Toy Story movies too, except for Toy Story 4. But yeah, but Toy Story changed animated movies forever. It made the animation, I guess you could say, genre, even though it's not really a genre. I mean, it was already popular, of course. Disney had some good movies out, but and this was even during the time when Disney was coming back with great movies in the what was called the Renaissance era in the 90s. But you had Disney, you even had Studio Ghibli, and some other good movies. But this is what changed animation forever. Like I said, this was the first CGI film, so and there's a lot more after this, including all the other Pixar movies I just mentioned. But yeah, Toy Story is fantastic. Woody and Buzz are a great duo. They started out as enemies, and then they became friends. Like, it's just so good. And they're voiced perfectly by Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. And yeah, great movie. I love Toy Story. I should mention that the animation too, for the most part, still holds up very well. The human characters maybe not so much, but the rest of the animation I think still looks good. Even the backgrounds still look pretty good. I mean, sure they look better in even Toy Story 4, but still, it still holds up. The animation still holds up, and yeah. But yeah, Toy Story 1, that's my number 2. Would be my number 1 if it wasn't for this movie. And so you probably guessed what it is by now, even if you don't know my channel, just if you know what's left. My number 1 favorite Pixar movie, not only my favorite Pixar movie, but also my favorite animated movie of all time. That is Monsters, Inc. Now, okay, Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, and other movies like Ratatouille and Inside Out are probably better. Maybe even Finding Nemo. They are probably better than Monsters, Inc., but Monsters, Inc. is just personally my favorite Pixar movie. I mean, I still think it's fantastic. I still think it's definitely one of the best Pixar movies ever made. But yeah, it's great though. Little fact, I have said this. I think I have said this on the channel before, but this was the very first movie I ever saw in theaters. I was 3 years old when this came out, and yeah, but yeah, like Woody and Buzz are great, but I personally like Mike and Sully better, who are voiced by Billy Crystal and John Goodman, and yeah, just perfect casting. They're great. They were even good in Monsters University, but yeah, and also another great performance by Steve Buscemi as Randall. Also great. I love Randall too. Boo is an adorable character. This movie, it's just really funny, and there's even some good dramatic moments as well, much like some other movies I mentioned. But yeah, and the animation still holds up. It's just fantastic. The score is great too. Yeah, Randy Newman did the score for this as well. But yeah, I love Monsters, Inc. It's my favorite Pixar movie, and it's even my favorite animated movie of all time. Even if another animated movie beats this as my favorite animated movie, I still don't think this will beat it. I still don't think another Pixar movie will beat this as my favorite Pixar movie, because I just love it. I think it's it is. It's my favorite Pixar movie. Yeah, my number 1 Pixar movie is Monsters, Inc. Alright, there we go. There is my ranking for all the Pixar movies. So, in the comments, please give me your ranking for all the Pixar movies. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just say what your favorite and least favorite is. And yeah. Also, look out for some other future like animated companies rankings. I'm working on Disney, all 60 something Disney animated movies. I'm working on that. That'll take a long time because I'm still not even close to being done with that. I've only watched like 9 of them of the early movies, but yeah. I also got a DreamWorks ranking too, and sometime soon. I still haven't started yet, but I'm gonna also work on Studio Ghibli as well. I've seen so far 3 Studio Ghibli movies, and I enjoyed all of them, and I'm looking forward to watching some more. So yeah, look out for that Studio Ghibli ranking as well. But yeah, all right, so. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the bell. And there might be, I'm not going to say who, but there might be another director ranking next Wednesday. So look out for that. All right. So, anyways, I'll see you later. All right. Peace.